So location based services. Okay, I'll tell you the steps again. What is the first step? We have to get the location, current location. We have to get, for to get the current location, we are using a location based services. Okay, this is a syntax. This is a method get system service context dot location underscore service. For managing the service, there is a class called what? Location manager is a class. Okay, next. By using this statement, we can get the last updated location we can get. Location manager dot get last known location. By using GPS provider, we are getting the location we are getting. Okay, but continuously, this is the last updated location we will get. For example, yesterday night it is captured the location at somewhere. You will get the yesterday's location. You will not get the right now where you are exactly. That current location you will not get. To get that current updated location, we had to configure this. The listener we had to configure, and these are the permissions we had to add in manifest.xml. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll create a simple application. We'll create. I'll create a simple application. I'll create. My requirement is here I want to display two values I want to display. One is I want to display the latitude value I want to display. I want to display the latitude value I want to display, and second thing is I want to display the longitude value I want to display. Latitude and longitude I want to display. Latitude and longitude I want to display on the screen. Okay. My requirement is just I want to create two text view components I want to create on the screen. Just I want to create two text view components I want to create on the screen. Okay. One is for displaying the latitude value. Second thing is displaying the longitude value. Okay, this is my requirement. Okay. So now here, let's create a project. Let's start a new Android Studio project. Specify the project name here. Let's take my project name is the Gmap test. I'm specifying Google Map test is a project name. Okay, next. So take empty activity. Next, finish. So app is created. Just add two text view components in the XML file. In activity XML file, let's add two text view components. Let's add in the activity XML file. So here in the bottom of the screen, we'll create two text view components. We'll create with the large text. I'm creating two text view components. I'm creating. Create two text view components. One is for displaying the latitude value. One is for displaying what? Latitude value. And second thing is for displaying the longitude value. Okay. Just we created two text view components we created in the activity XML file. Okay. One is for displaying what? The latitude value, and second thing is for displaying the longitude value. Okay. Okay. Just we create two text view components. Now in your activity file, first of all, if you want to get the location service, if you want to get the location service, there is a method called get system service is a method. Get system service is a method. Specify the service name. Context dot location underscore service. Context dot what? Location underscore service. By using this statement, we can get the built-in location service we can get into our activity class. I'll repeat once again. By using this statement, we can get the built-in location service. You can get into activity. To manage this location service, application framework is providing a class called. To manage this service, application framework is providing a class called location manager is the class. Application framework is providing a class called what? Location manager is the class. So let's initialize the object for location manager. Location manager is equals to location manager of get system service context dot location underscore service. By using this statement, we can get the built-in location service. We can get into our activity class. We can get. Okay. Next, what is the next one? We had to call this method. We had to call. Of course, even though it's not required, but we had to call this method. We had to call location manager dot. There is a method called get last known location is a method. Get last known location is a method. So we had to specify the provider name. We had to specify location manager dot get last known location. Specify the location manager dot. One is GPS provider. There are two providers are there. One is a GPS provider. Second thing is what? Network provider. I told you that every Android device is having a GPS. By using that GPS, we can get the device exact location we can get. By using network provider, we can get the nearby tower location we can get. We cannot get the exact device location we cannot get. Okay. Location manager dot one is GPS underscore provider. Location manager dot GPS underscore provider. Okay. So just it is asking to add a permission. We'll add later. We'll add the permissions. This is the first thing. We had to get the last updated location. Last updated location we had to get. And the next thing is nothing but to get the current updated location. If you want to get the current updated location, if you want to get location manager dot request location updates is a method. Location manager dot request location updates is a method. To get the updated location, we use this method request location updates. First parameter is nothing but provider. By using which provider you want to get the location, specify the provider name, comma. Second parameter is nothing but minimum time interval. Second parameter is nothing but what? The minimum time interval. So minimum time interval, I'm specifying 1000. I'm specifying minimum time interval. I specified 1000. I specified. Okay, meaning I want to get the updated location. I want to get for every 1 second. I want to get the location updates. I want to get for what? Every 1 second. I want to get the location updates. Okay. Second parameter is nothing but minimum duration. I told you it's an R condition, whether time interval is more than the specified time or the minimum distance. The minimum distance we had to specify in meters. We had to specify the distance. We had to specify in meters. We had to specify. I specified the minimum distance as 1. I specified. Okay. And the last parameter is the object of location listener. The last parameter is what? The object of location listener is a input parameter. So see, if you specify the object of location listener, create the object for new object of, once if you select this location listener, once if you select, you'll get the list of methods in that particular location listener. You'll get the list of methods in the location listener class. So these are the three major methods in the location listener. One is on location change, on status change, on provider enable, on provider disable. Whenever the GPS is enable, GPS is switched on, it's going to call on provider enable. When the GPS is switched off, it's going to call on provider disable method. Whenever user update the location, see, one of the input parameter for this on location change method is nothing but, okay, whenever user update the location, whenever it is captured the user updated location, okay, we are getting the one of the input parameter is nothing but location object we are getting. So if we call this location.getLatitude method, if we call location.getLatitude, we'll get the latitude value we'll get. And if we call location.getLongitude, you'll get the latitude value you'll get. If we call location.getLongitude, we'll get the longitude value you'll get. Okay. Return type of this method is nothing but double type is a return type. Double type is a return type of this method. Let's say we are holding this latitude value into one double type and longitude value into double type. Okay, double latitude and double longitude, double latitude and double longitude. Okay, so by using this statement, by using this, we can get the updated location. We can get automatically it's going to call whenever it is captured the updated location, automatically it's going to call this method. It's going to call automatically on location changer method. That latitude value and longitude value we are getting. And what we'll do is in the activity XML file, we created two text view components we created in the activity XML. In our activity XML file, we created what? Two text view components we created in the activity XML. Okay. Get the two text view components into your Java code. Text view one is equals to text view. What is the method name? Find view by ID r.id dot text view. Get the two text view components into your activity code. Okay. And for this text view one component, I want to set the latitude value. I want to set. So take tv1 dot. There is a method called set text is a method. I want to set the latitude value I want to set. So if you specify only latitude, basically it's a double type. Double type we cannot specify to string, we cannot specify, right? That's why what I'm doing is I'm appending this text. I'm appending. One is latitude. Latitude plus write the latitude. And if you want to get the longitude value, text to be 2 dot set text longitude plus longitude. Okay. So we are updating the latitude value and longitude value. I'm updating to text view 1 component and text view 2 component. I'm updating the latitude and longitude values. I'm updating. Okay. Now let's add a permission in the manifest.xml. That's it. We are getting the location we are getting, and we are updating that location to the text view components we are setting. Now in the manifest.xml, open Android manifest.xml. Here we had to add a permission. We had to add two permissions we had to add. One is access find location is one thing, access find location, and second thing is access codes location. Access find location and access codes location. These two permissions we had to add in manifest.xml. Access find location and access codes location. Okay. Now let's run the application and see are we able to get the location or not. But before that, GPS should be enabled in the device. If GPS is enabled, then only we can test the location. You can get the location. Otherwise, you cannot get the location. We cannot get. Okay. See, we added a permission we added in the manifest.xml, and even our code is also perfect. But still, we are getting some error. We are getting here. Just it's nothing but it will ask you to add a statement here. Just click on this error. Otherwise, let's click on the error first. Error is nothing but just if you click on this error, it will ask you to add one statement. It will ask you to add what? One statement will ask you to add, that is add permission check statement is there, right? Add permission check statement. Just we had to click on that. That's it. Once if you click on that error, once if you click on add permission check statement on top of this method, you'll get some if condition you'll get. Basically, the purpose of this one is nothing but just to check whether user is accepted for the permissions or not. That's it. User is accepted for the permission or not. Just we have to add this permission. That's it. Okay. So just what we'll do, without if you don't add that statement, you will get an error. You will get here. Just click on that error. Select add permission check statement. That's it. It will add a permission statement to add here on top of this get last known location. Okay. So now let's run the application. Let's run the application. I want to run the application in my Samsung phone. Okay. First, GPS should be enabled in your phone, then only you can get the location. So let's enable the GPS. Okay, let's run the application. Basically, internet is not required to get the location. Still is loading the project. I'll wait for a few minutes. So app is installed in my phone. I'll show the output. I'll show you once. So device is having some connectivity issue. Okay. App is installed in my phone. App is installed. Okay. Just in the activity XML file, we created two text view components we created here. One is for latitude value. One is for displaying the latitude value. Second thing is for displaying what? The longitude value. Latitude value and the longitude value. And if you see here, this GPS symbol is blinking here. So it's not visible here. There is a GPS button you will get in the notification bar. That GPS button is blinking in my device. So meaning still it is trying to capture that latitude and longitude. Still is trying to capture what? The latitude value and the longitude value. Still is trying to capture that latitude and longitude. So anyway, it will take some time. It will take to capture this latitude and longitude. First time from our application. From second time onwards, if you open it, you'll get quickly. You'll get. But from application first time, it will take some time to capture this location, latitude and longitude. Okay. So anyway, it will take some time. Definitely, we'll get the output. We'll get. Meanwhile, what we'll do is we'll see the next steps. We'll see unnecessarily rather than spending the time. So once if you get the location, then I'll show you here latitude and longitude. Okay. So meanwhile, we'll see the next one. We'll see. Okay. Now first we discussed how to get the latitude and longitude value. Yeah, we got the output. We got. Let me show the output once. See, we got a large decimal values, right? See, this 78.46310364 and 17.4381. So this is the latitude value and this is the longitude value. And we got the large decimal values we got. We got what? The large decimal values we got. Okay. This is my latitude value and this is my longitude value. This is my latitude value and this is the longitude value. Okay. But by seeing these values, can you tell the position of the user? By seeing these values, can you tell the user position, boss, where you are right now? No, we cannot tell the position of the user. We cannot tell by using this latitude value and the longitude value. It's very difficult to tell the position by seeing this latitude value and the longitude value. Okay, that's why we are having a concept called maps concept. Okay, so if you give this latitude value and the longitude value on a map, see now Now it is updated, this latitude and longitude, because we configured, right, for every 1 second, or if user moves at least 1 meter distance, it's going to call this location listener. Meaning continuously this location is listener is calling now, it's going to update the latitude and longitude values continuously. Okay. Okay. So now we got the current position we got in a latitude and longitude format. Now we want to place this position. I cannot tell my position where I am by seeing this latitude and longitude. Now what we have to do is these values we have to place on a map we have to place. So if we place on a map so that we can show graphically, we can show to the user, boss, this is the location. So easily we can identify what is the position of the user by seeing that on map. Okay. So now we'll see the next concept, that is what? Maps concept. Display this latitude value and longitude value on a map. Okay. So let's see what are the steps to work with maps. Steps to work with what? Maps. The first step to work with maps is we had to create a class. We had to create a class with sorry, not a project. Create a project. If you want to work with maps, create a project and add Google Play Services project as a library project. Google Play Services maps as a library project. This is the first step we had to do. What is the first step? We had to create a project. We had to create what? A project we had to create. So let's create a project. Create a project, add Google Play Services maps as a library project. We had to create a project we had to create and add Google Play Services maps as a library project. Meaning where you can find these library projects, Google Play Services maps. Anyway, we already created a project we created. Let's take this is a project. We already created a project we already created. We are able to get the latitude and longitude also, right? Okay. So now the first step, what is the first step? It is asking to add Google Play Services maps as a library project. If you see here, just right click on your project, right click on your app. You can find the option called here module settings. Here you can find the option called what? Module settings. Open module settings. And if you select this open module settings, okay, select the dependencies here. Right click on the project, select open module settings, and here select dependencies here. Select what? Dependencies. In these dependencies, let's select here, select this plus option here. In this plus option, so we had to select the library dependency here. We had to select what? Library dependency. So select this library dependency. I'll repeat once again. Right click on app, module settings. After selecting the module settings, select dependencies here. In dependencies, select this library dependency. Library dependency. Which library we had to add? We had to add this Google Play Services maps. If you see here, Play Services maps is there, right? Play Services maps, com.google.android.gms. So we had to add this library, we had to add as a dependency module. This is the first step we had to do. We created a project, we created add Google Play Services library as a dependency project. Add Google Play Services library as what? As a dependency module. Okay, that is the first step. We had to add that library file, we had to add first. Okay, second step is nothing but in the fragment XML file, create a fragment UI component. Create a fragment UI component in activity XML file. Create a fragment UI component in activity XML file with the following name. Okay. So actually there is a one mandatory component, mandatory attribute is there for the fragment. We already discussed that what is a mandatory attribute. So the second step, first step is we added a library file we added. Second step is nothing but we had to create a fragment UI component we had to create. We had to create a fragment UI component we had to create with the name. We'll see what is that name. And we had to specify a few other parameters. Create a fragment UI component in activity XML with the following name. Okay, we'll see what is that name. In your activity XML file, resource, layout, activity XML file, resource, layout, activity XML file. In this activity XML file, let's create a fragment component. So if you scroll down, you can find a UI component called fragment here. The left side, you'll get the list of components, right? Here you can find a UI component called what? Fragment. See, whenever you select a fragment, automatically we got the list of classes we got. These are all the list of fragment classes, right? So once if we select this fragment, we got the list of fragment classes we got. Okay, here we had to select the support map fragment. We had to select here. Here you can find an option called what? Support map fragment. Let's take this support map fragment and place the support map fragment on the screen. Specify the width and height, how much space you want to occupy. Okay, so now we created a fragment. We created what? A fragment we created. What is a fragment name? Support map fragment is a fragment name. What is a fragment name? Support map fragment. So basically we got these borders we don't require these borders. A lot of padding property means screen size is waste. Okay, so I removed that borders. I removed. Okay, so now this is the second step. Create a fragment UI component in the activity XML file with the following name. What is the name of the fragment? Support map fragment is the name of the fragment. What is the name of the fragment? Support map fragment is the name of the fragment. This is the second step. After adding the library file, the second step is we had to add this support map fragment. We had to add in the activity XML file. This is the second step. Third step is nothing but create an activity class, create an activity with subtype of fragment activity. This is the third step. Create an activity with subtype of what? Fragment activity. So in your activity XML file, okay, XML file is completed, done now. We create a fragment with support map fragment. Now open your activity file, open the main activity.java. So in your activity, we had to create an activity class we had to create. See, by default, we got what? We got app compact activity we got, right? By default, we got app compact activity we got by default. So now in place of this app compact activity, let's specify the class name as fragment activity. Let's specify the class name as what? Fragment activity. Okay, this is the third step. Okay, next step is get the support map fragment from activity XML file. Get the support map fragment. Get the support map fragment from activity XML file to get the support map fragment from activity XML file. For this, what we had to do is basically which object we required? We required the object for support map fragment. We required the object for what? Support map fragment. Where we created the support map fragment in the XML file. So what we had to do is in the XML file we created this support map fragment. We created in the XML file. Support map fragment is equals to support map fragment of. There is a method called get support fragment manager is a method. Get support fragment manager is a method. Specify the fragment name head specific. Get support fragment manager dot. There is a method called find fragment by ID is a method. Find fragment by ID is a method. Specify r.id dot. Specify r.id dot. the fragment ID here. Okay, so by using this statement, we can get the support map fragment from the activity XML. Basically, in the activity XML, we created this support map fragment. Okay, so in this way, we can get the support map fragment we can get from the activity XML. So let's go to your activity class. So here, let's get the support map fragment from the activity XML. Let's create the object in the global variable. We create object for what? Support map fragment. We require variable. Let's initialize this support map fragment. Support map fragment is equals to support map fragment of, what is the method name? Get support fragment manager dot find fragment by ID is a method. Get support fragment manager dot find fragment by ID is a method. Specify the ID of that particular fragment. r.id dot the fragment ID we had to specify here. In the XML file, whatever the ID is specified for a fragment, that ID we had to define here. So by using this statement, we'll get the support map fragment you'll get from the activity XML file. This is the fourth step. Okay. This is the fourth step. So next step is get the Google Map object from support map fragment. Next step is what? Get the Google Map object. Get the Google Map object from support map fragment. Get the Google Map object from what? From support map fragment. We have to get the Google Map object. So let's see here. We require the object for what? We require the object for Google Map class. We require the object. So Google Map object is equals to the support map fragment object dot there is a method called get map is a method. Google Map is equals to the support map fragment object dot get map is a method. Okay, so that you'll get the object for what? So that you'll get the object for Google Map class. You'll get the object. Google Map is equals to the support map fragment object dot get map is a method to get the object for what? Google Map. Okay, so now let's see here. So get this Google Map object from the support map fragment. Google Map is equals to the support map fragment object dot there is a method called get map is a method. See, the return type of this get map method is nothing but it's a Google Map object. Google Map object is a return type of this get map method. That's it. So you'll get the object for what? You'll get the object for Google Map object you'll get. Okay. This is the fifth step. After initializing support map fragment, from support map fragment, we are getting what? The Google Map object we are getting from support map fragment. Okay. And the next step is, see what is the next step. To work with any Google API, we had to get an API key from Google. To work with any Google API, we had to get an API key from Google. To work with any Google API, we had to get what? An API key we had to get from the Google, because now Google is providing this service as a free service. For example, in future they want to make it as commercial. They want to earn, the maintenance cost is very huge. So that's why Google wants to make it commercial in future. Now it's free of cost. You can access it free of cost only you can access. But Google wants to know who is using this particular service, this particular map service. That's why what we had to do is to work with any Google API, we had to get an API key from Google. We had to get what? An API key from Google. To get the API key, so listen, because further in our Google Places, GCM, Google Cloud Messaging also, we require the API key we require from the Google. Okay. To get any API key from Google, to get the API key from Google, go through the following URL. To get the API key from Google, go through what? Go through the following URL. The URL is nothing but http colon code.google.com/apis/console. Okay, this is a URL. This is what? The URL code.google.com/apis/console. This is a URL. By using this URL, we can get the API key we can get. Okay, let's go through this URL code.google.com/api/console. Let's copy this URL and specify here. Basically, it will ask you the login credentials. You have to log in with your Gmail credentials. You have to log in. Okay, these are all the existing projects in my account. Let's try to create a new project. I want to create a new project. Let's take, I'm creating a project name as maps test at 6 a.m. I specified the project name as what? Just maps test at 6 a.m. I specified the project name. Maps test at 6 a.m. Okay. So click on this create button. It's creating a project, it is creating. So once the project is created, then you'll get the dashboard screen, you'll get the next screen. Still it is creating a project. Okay. So now the project is created. Now a new project is created. These are all the Google services, boss. This Google Cloud Engine API, Google Maps Android API, Drive API, Google Plus API, YouTube API. You can access all these APIs. You can access. These are all what? The Google services. These are all the Google services. Okay, Gmail API, Calendar API. Okay, there are a lot of services it is providing. But we require which service we require now? We require the service for Google Maps Android API. We require the service for what? Google Maps Android API. Select this Google Maps Android API. Select Google Maps Android API. In this one, first what we had to do is we had to enable this service. We had to enable first. We had to enable this service, meaning we are specifying, boss, in this account, in this project, I want to use a Google Maps. So first you had to enable that service. You had to enable first. Then after enabling the service, if you read this message clearly, if you read this API is enabled, but you cannot use it in your project until you create credentials. Go to credentials to do this now. Strongly recommended. Meaning it is telling, boss, you enable the service you enable, but you cannot access this service you cannot access. To access the service, we had to generate what? An API key we had to generate. So click on this go to credentials. Click on this go to credentials. So it will navigate another page, it will navigate. So here you have to select your project, meaning from where you want to call this. So Google Maps Android API. We selected what? Google Maps Android API. Just click on what credentials I need. That's it. So once if you click on that button, and we got the API key we got. See, we got the API key we got. Here is your API key. So we got this API key we got. Let's copy the API key. Let's copy this API key. This API key we had to configure in our project. To access any Google service, we had to get an API key. We got the API key we got from the Google. We got the API key we got from the Google. This API key we had to configure in our manifest.xml. Then only it will display map, it will display. Otherwise, it will not display maps, it will not display. So in your project, manifest.xml, we had to configure this. We had to configure this API key. We had to configure in the manifest.xml. Just the next statement is nothing but configure the API key in manifest.xml. Configure the API key in manifest.xml file with the following tag inside application tag. Inside application tag, we know, right, in the manifest.xml there is a tag called application is a tag, right? Now inside the application tag, whatever the API key we got, let's configure the API key in the application tag. So here, let's configure that API key. There is a tag called metadata is a tag. What is a tag name? Metadata is a tag name. Inside this metadata tag, there are two keys are there. One is name is one key. Had to define name, had to define. Second parameter is nothing but value. We had to define name. Metadata is a tag name. Inside the application tag, we had to configure that API key. We had to configure that API key. We had to configure in the manifest.xml inside the application tag, the metadata tag. So you got the API key we got. We got the API key we got. Second parameter is nothing but we had to define the name. We had to define the name. We had to define. So let's see what is the name. Shall I forget? I guess. Okay. So I forgot the name. Just give me a second. So once again, this GMS we can add this permission also we can add, but it's old style basically. Now the latest one is some geo dot. These are all the old ways. Let's see. When in our yesterday class when I created that one, just let me give me a second. I'll explore that file explore once. This is a tag name. scom.google.android.geo.api key. That's it. Okay. This is a key. This is the API key. So this name we have to configure here. Okay. So com.google.android.geo.api underscore key. So for displaying the maps, we had to add this. We got the API key we got, right? This API key we had to configure in the manifest.xml. Then only it will display maps, it will display. Otherwise, it will not display the maps, it will not display. Okay. Now let's run the code. Let's run the application and see. Okay. Just we require internet permission is required because for getting the location latitude and longitude we don't require the internet, but if you want to display map, if you want to display, we require the internet permission we require. So if you want to display maps, if you want to display, we require what? The internet permission we required. Okay, so let's add internet permission here. Let's add internet permission in the manifest.xml. One is users permission, one is we required the internet we required. Okay, and second thing is we require this access network state is one permission. We require this access network state permission we required. But why we require this permission? Because internally Google Maps is going to test whether user is having an internet connection or not. For that we had to add this permission. We had to add access network state, and the next thing is nothing but we required temporarily Google Maps will write some data in the storage, so we had to specify this write external storage permission. Had to specify, okay, internet access network state and write external storage. Now let's run the app. Let's run the app. So now you'll get the maps. You'll get. So you got the output we got. We got the output we got. We are displaying the map we are displaying, and below we got the latitude value and longitude value we got. We got the latitude and longitude, and we are displaying what? A map we are displaying. But now my requirement is on top of map. Here on top of map, I want to place my position. This latitude and longitude is there, right? On map, I want to show this latitude value and longitude value I want to show here. Okay, so we got the latitude and longitude, but we cannot say by seeing this latitude and longitude values where we are. Okay, now I want to place a marker I want to place on the map in this current location. I want to place a marker I want to place. Okay, so if you want to place a marker, if you want to place on a map, here we got the latitude and longitude. Here we got what? The latitude value and longitude value we got. The double type latitude and longitude. My requirement is I want to place a marker I want to place in my location, current location. So here, if you have a latitude and longitude values, if you have a latitude and longitude values, so we have to create an object for marker options. There is a class called what? Marker options is a class. Let's create the object for marker options class. Create the object for what? Marker options. So now for this marker options, we have to specify the position we have to specify. Marker options object dot, there is a method called position is a method. See, what is the input parameter for this position method? Position parameter input parameter is nothing but object of latitude and longitude class. There is a class called LAT object of latitude and longitude. So let's create the object for latitude and longitude class. So for this method, we have to specify what is the latitude value and what is the longitude value. That's it. Pass the latitude value and longitude position. If you want to add any title, we can add the title also. We can add marker options object dot title is the method. Let's specify the title here. So title is, for example, I'm at my location is a title, for example. Okay, my location. So whenever you select that marker, you'll get this message, you'll get my location. Now we had to add this marker options object, we had to add to the Google Map object. Google Map dot add marker of, specify the marker options object. My requirement is I want to place my position, I want to place on my map. That's why wherever we are getting this location in the on location change method, we create object for marker options. We specified where you want to draw this one, what is the title for this marker, and let's add this marker to the map. Like this we can add n number of markers we can add on the map. Okay, let's run the code now. See, earlier there is no any marker on the map, right, in our current location. See here, by default is showing some African countries is showing, right? Some South Africa, some by default is showing some African countries is showing. My first, like, we got the location, we got latitude and longitude. Just slide this one. So we got the current location we got on the map. So if we zoom in, lot of times if you select this zoom in button, if you select a lot of times, then you can see your current location, street location you can see, right? And after clicking lot of times, after zooming lot of times, you will get what? We can see the exact location we can see. And we added a marker, we added on the map, we added a marker. Okay, this is my exact location. This is my current location. So Begumpet, Brahmanwadi, 8th line. Okay, so I got the exact location I got. This is my exact location, and even we got the exact location we got. Okay, so we are placing a marker, we are placing in our current position, we are placing a marker. And once if you select this marker symbol, once if you select, see here we got the title we'll get. Whatever the title we added, that title will get here. Okay, and another thing is, see, if once if you select this marker, if you select, even you can see the directions also, we can see by selecting this direction symbol, it will navigate to the directions, it will navigate. It will navigate to what? To the directions, it will navigate. So here you can specify what is your location and to where you want to navigate, and you can select this. Even you'll get the directions also you'll get. Okay, so we place our current position, we placed on a map. We place our current position, we placed on a map. But the problem is nothing but after selecting lot of times it is navigating. After selecting lot of times it is shown my current location, it is shown on the map. After selecting lot of times, after selecting clicking lot of times, we got the street view we got. My requirement is I want to automatically, and initially it is shown some African countries, it is shown by default, right? Then after that we slide this one to, we slide, then after that we got the this India view and street view we got. But my requirement is whenever user starts the application, automatically it has to show the street view, meaning automatically it has to navigate to my current location, it has to navigate. I don't want to see in the entire country view and after clicking lot of times get the street view. I don't want that one. So directly whenever, if the location is captured, immediately it has to show the street view, it has to show. Okay, so for this one basically, uh, there is a property here called Google Map object dot, there is a method called animate camera is the method. What is the method name? Animate camera is the method. Animate camera is the method. Camera update factory dot new latitude longitude zoom. New latitude longitude and zoom is a method. So we had to specify to which position you want to navigate by default. That position you have to specify. And what is the zoom? By default, the zoom limit is 25, boss. If the zoom limit is 25, means you'll get the country view you'll get. If you decrease that zoom limit, if you decrease, so that you'll get the street view you'll get. If you decrease that zoom limit, if you decrease, you'll get what? The street view. I mean, okay, first parameter we have to specify the object of latitude and longitude. Specify the object of latitude and longitude. We have to specify your latitude value and longitude value. Directly you want to show which position you want to show directly. Comma. Second parameter is nothing but, I told you right, the zoom limit. By default the zoom is 25, meaning you will get the country view you'll get. If you decrease that one to either 15 or 16, you get the street view you'll get. Okay. Okay. Let's run the application now. This is a method. Google Map dot animate camera is a method. Input parameter for this one is nothing but camera update factory dot latitude longitude zoom. Specify this one. Okay. Let's see the output. See, now it is captured the location. Whenever it is captured the location, immediately it's navigated to my current location. I have not selected anything I have not selected. Whenever it is captured the location, directly it is navigated to what? My current location it is navigated. If you want, I'll show you once again. I'm closing the app, I'm closing. Okay. Let's select this Google Map test. This is a project we created. Now by default, we got the country view we got by default because still the location is not captured. Whenever it is captured the location, directly it is navigating to what? To our current location it is navigating. Okay, meaning we are providing the zoom functionality and move to that particular location. Okay. And if you see some maps, like there are different map types are there, like satellite view, terrain view, traffic view. There are different options are there. But before going to display that one, see, I don't want to display this default marker. This is a default marker we got. This is a default image I got, but I don't want to display this marker. I don't want to display. I want to uh, I want to replace with my own image. I want to replace. Okay. So if you want to replace your own image, so whatever the image you want to display, let's place your own image into the drawable folder. Whatever the image you want to display in place of that marker, let's specify that your own image place into the drawable folder. For example, this bicycle is there, right? There is one image in my system. There is an image called bicycle. This is the image. This is an image in my system. Okay. Now my requirement is I want to place my own image I want to place. I don't want to place a default marker. I want to display this image I want to display. So what we'll do is let's copy the image. Let's copy this bicycle.png image and place that image into which folder? Into drawable folder. Let's place the image into which folder? Into drawable folder we place the image. Now here in place of the default marker I want to place my own image I want to specify. So Google Map object dot, not Google Map, here in the marker options. Marker options object dot, there is a method called icon is a method. Marker options object dot icon is a method. See what is the input parameter for this one? The input parameter for this one is bitmap descriptor is the input parameter. So let's create the object for bitmap descriptor factory. Bitmap descriptor factory dot from resources. What is the method name? From resource. Because we placed a file in the resource folder, we place a file, right? Bitmap descriptor factory dot from resource. Specify the file name here. r.drawable dot bicycle is a image. Okay. So now if you run the application, now in place of the default image, we'll get our own image. We'll get whatever is specified in the drawable. Let's see. Still the location is not captured. Whenever the location is captured, it will navigate to that particular location, right? It is navigated to the particular location. It is navigated. Now in place of the default marker, we got our own image we got. So basically we had to take very small image, we had to take less than this. Okay. So now we place our own marker we placed on the map, we place our own marker we placed. Okay. And the last thing is there are different types of maps are there, like Google Maps, terrain view, satellite view. There are different types of maps are there. Okay. You can specify the types, you can specify here. Here you can specify the type. After getting this Google Map object, if you want, you can specify the Google Map type, you can specify. Google Map object dot, there is a method called set map type is a method. Set map type is a method. Google Map object dot c. These are the styles here. Satellite view, terrain view, hybrid view. Like this, there are a different map types are there. For example, if you want to see in a satellite view, I want to see, I want to see in a satellite view, I want to see, just specify here Google Map dot satellite or terrain. There are different types are there. But if you want to see in a satellite view, if you want to see in a satellite view, if you want to take, basically it's a completely 3D, right? Satellite means, I hope you are aware of that satellite view. So you'll get a 3D format you will get, and it required some graphic permissions it required. It is using some graphic features it is using. So we required some graphic permission we had to add in manifest.xml. Then only we can access that satellite view, other access we can access. In the manifest.xml, there is a component called users feature is an option is there, users feature. So we had to add this users feature, we had to add. Let's see what is that. This one, OpenGLES request. So in the manifest.xml, we discussed in the initial classes, for displaying the graphics in Android, we are having a library called OpenGLES. What is the library name? OpenGLES for displaying the graphics. So here in our project, we are using the graphics we are using. So let's add this permission in the manifest.xml. Let's add these graphic permissions in the manifest.xml. So if you add this permission, then only we can access maps we can access. Otherwise, we cannot access the maps we cannot access. Let's run the application now. See, now this is a satellite view. Earlier we got only normal view we got. Now it's what? It's a satellite view. So once the location is captured, it will move to our current location. It will move to our current location. Okay. So we got a satellite view and we place our own marker. We place. That's it. My location. Okay. So this is the Google Maps concept. Any queries? Any queries in the Google Maps? One small change here, that is, continuously we'll get the location updates, we'll get continuously. If you want to get the location updates continuously, let's keep the logic like this only. But continuously you don't want to get the location updates. Only one time is sufficient. Once the location is captured, you don't want to get the location updates now. Then at that time, what we have to do is, let's remove this location manager dot remove updates of, specify this. If you are inside the location listener, so again here also it is going to ask you the permission check statement. We had to add that statement, we had to add that set. So we had to add this statement, we had to add continuously. You don't want to get the location updates, only one time only you want to get the location updates. So let's add this location manager dot remove updates is a method. So if you call this location manager dot remove updates method, then you will not get the updates, you will not get. You will not get what? Updates you will not get. Just remember this statement. You don't want to get the continuous location updates. Just add this location manager dot remove updates. Only one time only you'll get the location. Then after that you will stop. Continuously if you want to get, then don't write this statement. Okay. So any queries? Any queries in the today's class? Okay. Okay, thank you. And that is a Google Maps. We discussed how to get our current location and how to place a position on the map. Okay. In our next class, we'll discuss Google Places concept. We'll discuss. Okay. The Google Places means we'll get the nearby positions to get nearby positions, and we'll see even that nearby positions also will try to place on a map. Okay. So we'll discuss that Google Places concept. We'll discuss in the tomorrow's class. Okay. And Nanda Kishore and Abhishek. Okay, so we'll discuss tomorrow. And Murali, Pramod, Sneha, Ram Prasad, just I want to talk few minutes. Okay, Nandakishore and Avinash, Sir Abhishek. See you tomorrow. Okay, bye. Hello, Murali, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, just wait 1 minute. I got a feedback mail from your consultancy. So one negative feed. Just give me a second. So today Rakesh is absent.
Starting the demo, starting the sessions or something like that. After that, they canceled the class because the meeting ID was not working on that.
Okay. So basically, I got these 2 points. That's why I'm asking. If it is regarding the meeting ID and all, I never ask, right? So
Yeah.
what's some negative?
So right, because you get to know us in a different way, and we got to know you in different way. Because,
Okay.
so the quality of the sessions, we never complained regarding that. So it's like everything was cool. So that's why we are continuing with the sessions and this thing. So for the long, almost we finished for 20 classes. So if we did not like the sessions, we could have told, because we had an issue regarding the previous trainer. So we complained regarding the trainer within the first few sessions, first 3 or 4 sessions. So we got to change the other. So we like the sessions, how it goes, the way you are explaining and everything. So the issue was that, the issue was with, it's like we are not intimated if the class was not, at least, I mean, regarding the technical issues or something, at least an hour before. Not after coming, sitting in front of the system and waiting for, after 10-15 minutes, we get to know that there is no class. That was the main issue that we addressed.
Okay. So Max will try to don't repeat that one. Okay. So anyway, thank you, Pramod, and
Sure.
yeah, I want to ask one more. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. See you. Bye.